And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to this special 3-night workshop. I've got several friends hanging out on Zoom saying hello to you guys. We're also broadcasting this in several of our communities and a couple of our Facebook groups over on our YouTube channel, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, hey, wherever you're watching from, welcome. Go ahead and let us know that you're here. Put your first name where you're watching from so we can say hello to you. So tonight is session 3. Now, you might be here saying, I missed session 2, session 1. We'll do a quick recap, but tonight's the big night because we're going to actually put everything together. In fact, we have for you, and I'll share the link in just a second, but we're going to go through the 5-step messenger launch plan tonight. So we're going to walk through this step by step. And this is for you if you are an aspiring writer, coach, speaker, you have a message or you have experience, skills, a story to share, and you're wondering, how do I monetize this? So let's take like a really quick recap. I'll pull up some of what we talked about these last couple of nights. And the first night we talked about the messenger movement. And probably the most important part of what we talked about on session 1 is the opportunity that exists for us as self-published writers, as teachers who can create our own online courses, as speakers who can get paid to speak without even an event telling us, approving us to come speak, or an event planner. And we can coach people online. And we talked about the fact that some of these statistics were pretty amazing. $220 million were paid out to self-published authors on Amazon last year. Pretty crazy. $325 billion is how big the e-learning community or industry is for online courses. Speakers get somewhere between $2 and $3 billion for the speaking industry, and over $1 billion just in the U.S. alone. That's what we talked about on night 1, session 1. Then last night, we actually got into the Messenger Profit Grid. And I heard from many of you who really enjoyed this session because it's like, I finally understand the numbers. I understand, first of all, the different types of income streams. We talked about 12. We're not going to recap them right now, but you can take the writer, teacher, speaker, coach, and you have over 12 different income streams that you can create. Do you need to do all 12? The answer is no, because we did some math up here. Remember this math from session 2? We talked about the concept of 1,000 true fans, and that you really just need 1,000 customers to pay $100 per year for a $100,000 business. And you could change this math up. You could say, well, you only need 500 customers to spend $200 with you, right? Or we could say, we only need 100 customers that spend $1,000 with us per year. So if we create a course that's $1,000 and sell that to 100 people over the course of a whole year, that's $100,000. So the math is not as complicated as sometimes we make it in our own head. And then we went through the scenario of how just 3 products could yield somewhere in just over 6 figures in your business with just an online course, membership, and a coaching program. So again, that was a fast recap. But tonight we're actually going to jump into putting it all together. There are really 5 stages, 5 steps that you need to get right to make a go of this thing, to turn your idea into a reality. And that's what we're going to talk about. But first, I know you want the link. Now, I just showed all those cool PDFs and the stuff that we sketched out, and you're probably like, Jonathan, I missed this night, I missed that night. We've got you covered. So if you go to this link right here, no email opt-in required. It's actually a Google folder. All 3 of those PDFs are there. You can download them. You can print them off. You can use it to sketch out your business. They're completely free. They're there for you. There you go. So just go to jmill.biz/launch plan, and that will take you directly to a Google folder that I've given you access to with the 3 PDFs. The session 3 PDF is what we're going to do tonight. So if you have a printer nearby and you want to print that off real quick, that is what we're going to be tackling tonight. All right. So I see we got more friends. Just people are just still popping into the Zoom room. Glad you guys are here. Hope you're doing well. In the Zoom room, feel free to have your camera on, camera off. Do what you want, but we will make room for some questions in just a little bit. So get ready if you've got questions as we go through this content, this material tonight. All right. So I'm all about getting into it. Let's go. So the Messenger launch plan really comes down, and I have had the fortunate opportunity. I started teaching online marketing back in 2011. And so I've done it for 11 years now. It's crazy that I've been doing it this long. My journey online started back in 2009 when I started a career coach blog for accountants. And I knew nothing about marketing, nothing about how to earn money back then. And I knew I could probably sell for a resume service. I figured I could probably put up a page and get paid to coach. But when it came to doing an online course, I had no idea. But I tell you, once I got my online course created, it was the best decision I'd ever made because I was still working a day job at the time as an executive recruiter. And meanwhile, while I was working a day job, I would come home and find that people had bought my course. It was $97. I used PayPal back then. And the coolest thing about selling an online course was like there was nothing else for me to do. It was almost like, wait a minute, am I supposed to do something else? No, because I'd already bottled up my knowledge into this comprehensive course. And like the second me or the mini me was teaching people, and it wasn't me having to teach. It was the coolest revelation back in 2010. Once I went full time in 2011, I started teaching marketing, and I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with thousands and thousands of people, and several who are online full time now. And it's just been so cool to be a part of their journey. It's very rewarding for me, for sure. But in that time, I've had a lot of experience in always trying to figure out how do we break this down to its simplest parts, like no fluff, down to the very, very brass tacks. And what you need are 5 stages. So here they are. We're going to go into each of these, all right? 13 total questions. We're going to go into each of these tonight. First is audience. You need to know how to choose the right audience. Everybody is not your audience. We have to get specific. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're actually going to go over to message. And there's a reason we're going in this order that I'll show you in a second. And you got to get clear on your message, right? If you know who your audience is, but your message isn't making sense to them, that's not good. We got to get specific so that when they hit our website or when they find us on a live video or they're watching a YouTube video or podcast, they need to raise their hand and say, oh man, this is for me. Like this guy, this gal, that's who I need. This is exactly for me. All right. And then we figure out our offers. The offers are how you're going to earn money in this business. Then we'll go down to a plan. There's actually 5 specific pieces or questions you need to ask to have a really good plan. And then we'll get into build, which is like where a lot of people are. Is I'm not technologically advanced, John. I'm not a tech person. How do I do this online? That's what we're going to be talking about there. So let's dive into this. If you're ready, let me know that you're ready. Put it in the chat. Those of you on Zoom, and if you're hanging out on one of our social media channels, you can say ready as well. Let me know. Are you ready? I see some thumbs up. I see people saying they're ready. I see you in the chat. Ready, ready, ready. All right. Let's do this. Let's jump in. All right. So we're going to talk about audience first. Now, here are the 5 core questions that you need to ask. First of all, who are they? Who are they? It's not everyone. You got to get specific. And the reason, there's 2 reasons why you want to be specific. The first one is you want to be a big fish in a small pond. So when I first started, I was a career coach. I said I started my first blog on WordPress as a career and life coach for everyone. Didn't matter who they were. It didn't matter what stage they were. I was just, I'll coach anybody. If you're breathing, I can help you, right? And we have big hearts. We want to serve people in big ways. But what I luckily had a mentor early on. I was about 3 months into it. And he said, Jonathan, you have to get specific. You need to be a big fish in a small pond. Right now, you're a small little fish in the big old pond of career and life coach, right? You got to be known for something to somebody. And so that's when he started digging around. I said, well, for the last 7 years, I've been a recruiter for accounting professionals. He's like, there you go. So I found the domain cpacareercoach.com and I started. And boy, did I start getting some tractions, because guess what? I became a big fish in a small pond. I remember back in the day when monster.com and hotjobs.com, like those were like the cool ones back then for the job boards. They even reached out to me to interview me because I was seen as an expert in something specific, right? So that's a very important piece of it. The other part of it is you want to have powerful communication. I use this all the time, but Ray Edwards told me in an interview one day, I was interviewing him, and he told me the more specific you can be, the more powerful your communication becomes. And I never forgot that statement. Like, live with that statement. If you're like, I'm not a copywriter, I don't know how to speak or how to write in a way that's powerful, just be specific. Don't be afraid to get specific. So for me, it was, getting specific was, want to advance in your accounting career. Are you a CPA that feels like you're stagnant in your career, right? Are you burned out with public accounting, all the hours you're working, and you want to move into the private sector, right? That's specific communication. And when you get specific like that, people are like, that's my guy, that's my gal, that's who I want, all right? So who are they? Get specific. Now, what do they want? Oops, don't want to cross it out. What do they want? What do they want? It's not about you, okay? And this is so important because especially when I used to teach blogging only, people would they're trying to make them about themselves, right? It's not about you. If you follow any of Donald Miller stuff, he's genius on this. You're the guide. They're the hero. You're not the hero. You are the guide. Very important. So because you're the guide, it's not about the credentials you've achieved. Like, all that is important for credibility's sake to an extent, but that's not what matters most. What matters most to people are, can you help them? Let me tell you a quick story, because this is always a funny story to me. When I started as an accounting and finance recruiter, I had no accounting and finance background. None. I was stepping into this world of relationship building with CFOs and owners of companies, trying to help them find their employees. But I did not come from an accounting background. And I remember one particular day I had this person, he was making 6 figures. He was a director of internal audit. And so I knew he was probably going to come to me with questions, because why wouldn't an auditor come with questions? And I remember he was coming in, he was actually looking for me and our practice to help him find a new job. And so we're walking over to the interview room, and, he's already starting on the questions. Like, we haven't even sat down. So how long you been doing this? And it was just like question. I'm like, oh boy, I got somebody who's drilling in on the questions. And then he said, and I was prepared for this because I knew it was coming. He said, have you ever been an accountant? Have you ever worked as an accountant? Do you have an accounting degree? He zoned in on that quickly. And I stopped and I said, as kindly as I could, I said, look, I don't have an accounting and finance degree. I'm not an accountant. But here's what I know. I've been doing this for 5 years. I know just about every CFO in Jacksonville, Florida, that I have built relationships with. And some of them even contact me when they're looking for a director of internal audit. Now, if you want to sit down and have an interview with me and I can learn a little bit about what you're looking for, I can help you with that. But no, I don't do accounting work. So would you like to have the interview? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Absolutely. You know what? It wasn't about credentials I had or didn't have. And this is really important for some of you who might be feeling that imposter syndrome, right? Like you feel like you don't have all the credentials, you don't have the big background, you don't have the fancy degrees, but can you help somebody? Do you have some experience and knowledge that can help them? That's what you lean on to. That's what you hold on to. So what do they want? That's what matters. And I like using this. I call it, over the years, I've been calling it my GPS system. And this is the best way to figure out what your audience wants. All right. GPS is just an acronym, and it stands for goals. So first of all, what are their goals? Right? What goals are they trying to achieve? Do you know? If you don't, ask. What goals? What goals do you want to accomplish in the next 90 days, the next year? What goals do you have? What dreams or aspirations do you want in the next 2 to 5 years? Find out their goals, right? And then letter P is passions. What are they passionate about, right? Do they have certain values, deeply held beliefs? For my audience, something they're passionate about is finding something simple, practical. They're tired of all the overwhelming information. They're passionate about service and ministry. So I often talk less about the numbers, even though we want to make money doing this, and more about the mission, the calling, the impact that we want to make, right? We get to do both. We can earn money and make an impact as well. We can do both, right? So get to know their passions. And then finally, and this is huge, what are their struggles? What keeps them up at night? What do they worry about? What fears do they often have? Like you have to walk a mile in their shoes, and you need to understand their goals, passions, and their struggles. It's super important. So that's a big overview, but that's audience. All right. Now let's move over to message. And you notice I skipped offer in the middle. There's a very specific reason why, and we're going to come back to it in just a second. All right. So message. How do you make sure that your message is clear, that people connect with what you do and what you're trying to do instantly? It comes down to purpose, people, and passion. Now, I actually talked about this in my book, Your Message Matters, and I actually used 3 circles. Let me go back. You've seen one of those Venn diagrams before? Kind of messing up my drawing here. A Venn diagram is 3 circles, and they all meet in the middle. And what it stands for is if you only do 2 of the 3, you're missing out. Something's missing. You got to have all 3. And I'll just kind of go back so you can see what we're talking about here. You need to have all 3. So first is purpose. Now, purpose is how do you show up best for others? And if you don't know, ask the people that are closest to you. How do I show up best for others? Like I had to ask around in the beginning. And I remember the first insight I had is somebody said, Jonathan, you're always that guy that says, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And I was like, okay, that's interesting, but what does that mean? And then somebody used the word resourceful. I was like, okay, well, I can latch on to that. But am I a speaker, a writer? What am I? And they said, Jonathan, you're a teacher. So resourceful teacher became how I show up best for others. And you know what? That doesn't mean that I can't write books. Obviously I have. I've got my book here. I've written books. I've done speaking. I can do those things. But I know the thing that people latch on to is when I'm creating diagrams, when I'm creating worksheets, when I'm hosting this workshop. And the more that you know how you show up best, you can lean into that. And it helps people to attach to you and your message. So there's purpose. Then there's people. I don't need to spend a lot of time here because we just talked about that, right? So you have your purpose. That is how you show up best for others. Your people are the specific people you're trying to serve. And then finally, passion. Now, passion is how are you going to help them? Like, what problem do they have that you're passionate about helping them with? And let me say this to some people who this feels big and overwhelming. I'm going to add this on the end for just the next 2 to 5 years, because you can pivot. I have pivoted. I don't do career coaching for accountants anymore. You can pivot. So what problem are you passionate about helping people solve for the next 2 to 5 years? Like, focus there. And then we'll see where things go from there, right? I started off, after career coaching, I started off as the blogging guy. So 2011, blogging your passion, I was the blogging guy. And then when my book came out in 2020, we rebranded because I started teaching more than just blogging, because I was also podcasting. I was doing YouTube, and then I was getting into live streaming, and people were wanting to learn how to do those things. And so my brand evolved. That's okay. All right. So that is message. So now we've got audience and message, but we've got offer here in the middle. Now the offer is the bridge. So we'll just draw a little bridge right here. Here's the bridge. And let's say this is your audience over here, right? This is them like before, right? So think before. This would be before. Over here, we'll call this after. If you want a Bible reference, like this is Egypt, right? This is Egypt over here. Your people are in Egypt. Or let's say this. If you know Moses, the story of Moses, this is the wilderness. Maybe this is the wilderness they're in, right? They're going in circles. They're trying to figure out things. And let's let you be Moses, all right? So you're over here. You've got the plan. You've got the experience. You've got the story. You've got the passion. You got the thing that can be helpful to them. Well, what's going to get them over the river? If this is a river in the middle here, what's going to get them over the river? It's your offers. It's your products, right? And so that's where we're going to get into this part right here. So let me just erase this. So this is offer. All right. And again, I know this is a lot of information, but I want you to get big picture here and you understand all the pieces and parts to this and why each part has its own value in this process. Okay. So offer. There are 4 offers that we teach. And if you were at Your Message Matters Live, we spent the 2 days going through this. The first one is a low ticket offer. So these are lower dollar offers that you can have in your business. Then we have a mid-ticket offer. These are offers that are, a few $100s to maybe $1,000. And then we have the high ticket offer. This is generally something over $2,500. And then down here we have a subscribe offer. Now subscribe are things like starting a membership site, anything that creates recurring income in your business. So one way to view this is if I were to kind of draw a diagram over this. It's kind of think like steps, right? We're looking at steps. And so again, this might be, let's say this is under $100. So things that are under $100 are going to be things like a book. So like a low dollar offer for me is a book. This is how some people come into my world. This is where they started. Some of you, it might be you heard me on a podcast. I said, hey, get a free copy of my book. And you're here right now, right? So you came in through a low ticket offer. Others are mid-ticket offers. These are typically like an online course, a 4-week coaching program, And these can run anywhere from, I would say, $100 to $2,500. And the reason why I say 2,500, I know it's a wide range, is this is remember this is a little pro tip. The general rule out there right now is you can charge, if you do a launch and you want to charge for a course, very rarely do they go over the $2,500 mark. And the reason for that is somewhere above that $2,500 mark crosses a threshold where somebody wants to have a phone conversation first before paying out more money. Does that make sense? So your higher ticket offers are going to be 2,500 plus, and those could be your one-on-one coaching program, could be a group coaching program that you do. Those think like it, even a paid keynote could be in this area. Usually an event planner wants to have a conversation with you first, wants to find out what would you speak on, wants to see some samples of where you've spoken before, things like that. And then underneath here is the subscribe offer. I love subscribe offers because they create the stability in a business, but you don't have to necessarily start there. All right. Now, if this still feels a little overwhelming, the place to start that we recommend is right here in the middle. Launch something that is somewhere, it could be somewhere around $100 to $200. Maybe it's a one-day workshop on Zoom. Many of you hanging out on Zoom. I said it the other night, if you know how to get on Zoom, you can do what I'm doing right here. I'm teaching on Zoom. Now I'm also live streaming this out on social media channels, but you can do this. You can do this sort of thing. All right. So that's offer. So now we've covered the top portion. We understand that we got to know who our audience is, their goals, their passions, their struggles. We got to know what our message is, the purpose, people, and passion. And we need to have at least an idea of like what we want to build. You don't have to have 12 income streams. If you have 3 strategic ones, a low, medium, and high, and a way to help people ascend into that. So maybe they buy a book, then they join you for a 4-week group coaching program for $250. And then you make an offer to those people to say, hey, I've got 3 spots open in my coaching program. It's $3,000. That's how the 3 can work together. Okay. All right, let's go. And let me just check in with everybody. Are we good? Are you following? Are you tracking? Am I going too quickly? Are we at a good pace here? Okay, thumbs up. I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. And let me know also on social media. Give me a thumbs up if this is helpful so far. I know we're broadcasting this on several different platforms. So feel free to ask your questions. So if I didn't cover something, I am going to leave some space to answer some questions here in a little bit. All right, now we're going to get into the plan part of this. All right. Now, plan. How do we make sure we got a good plan? That's what we're going to talk about. There's really 5 key questions to having a good plan. All right. The first one is, what's your company plan? Now, what I mean by that is, have you thought about formalizing your business? Have you thought about setting it up? Are you a sole proprietor? Are you going to do this as an LLC? Are you going to set up a separate bank account, like a business bank account, so it's separate from your personal checking? Like just thinking through some of your company plans. Maybe like if you want to hire people in the future. So is there a dream org chart that you would like to have one day? Is there, do you want to have a virtual assistant? Do you want to, just thinking through the different company plan part. The next is the communication plan. Now, the communication plan really comes with the idea of the story brand, like figuring out a way to best communicate what you're about. All right. Those of you, I know some of you here are lab members. We did this a couple months ago. It was a 1-page vision sheet, and it helped you really clarify your story pitch and simplify the statement that is your brand. So your story brand, your communication plan is important. Next is, what is your content plan? So there's lots of options. We talked about it on the first night. Remember, I said if you want a TV show, start a YouTube channel. If you want a newspaper, start a blog. If you want a radio show, start a podcast. And so that's where you got to think through, like, what's your primary outlet going to be? Is it going to be a blog? Is it going to be a podcast? Is it going to be a YouTube channel that you want to build? You need to have some type of free value to attract people towards you, right? So you got to have at least an idea of what it is you want to build. You don't have to do all of these. I do all of these today, but I also have a team that helps me. You can always start somewhere and add on later. All right, next, what is your capture plan? So this is all about the email list. What software are you going to use to capture email addresses, right? We talked about it 2 nights ago. MailChimp, you can have up to 2,000 subscribers for free. You could start it with MailChimp. ConvertKit, which is what I use, they have a free plan until you get up to a certain number of subscribers. You need to have a capture plan, and you need to have, for example, a free PDF or something that is exchanging value for email addresses. And in the book, again, many of you have the book. If you're here hanging out with me tonight, especially on Zoom, because you came from my email list. If you don't have the book, you should get the book. There's a whole chapter on my 12 different favorite ways to collect email addresses. So that's super important. And the reason why is because this gives you traffic you can control. Now, let me give you this example. Forgot my C. Let me give you this example. So right now, I have a whole group of you hanging out with me on Zoom. And then I'm live streaming this onto my YouTube channel, Facebook group. I think I have my personal Facebook profile because I have a lot of people who follow me that are also request me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Now, all of that social media that I just mentioned, that's not traffic I can control. I can kind of put myself out there. I can capture people because they happen to be scrolling. Like some of you right now that are watching over on Facebook, you're probably scrolling and you're like, oh, Jonathan's live. Let's watch him. But all of you on Zoom, the reason you're here right now is because you're on my email list. And I said, hey, I'm live. Can join me on Zoom. Sent out the email. You click the link and you're here. That's the power of an email list. It's traffic you can control. I can direct it to a Zoom room. I can direct it to a blog post, to a podcast. That's traffic you own, and nobody can take you away from that. Like right now, Facebook, YouTube, they could cause my stream to go down. Say, stop teaching all this wonderful content right now. Boom. They could close my account. And that happens. We don't want to only build our empire on rented land. Rented land is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's a great place to go to attract people, but we're attracting them away from social media onto our email list. So you can hypothetically get them into your Zoom room where you're building a deeper relationship with them. Some of these people that are here hanging out in the Zoom room were also at our live event, some virtually, some in person, that we had back in June. How did they find out about the live event? They were on my email list, right? Email list is so important. All right, last one in the plan is your conversion plan. What's your conversion plan? Now, your conversion plan has to do with making sales. So where are you going to build a sales page? Are you going to use PayPal? Are you going to use Stripe? Another one that we've got PayPal is a way to convert people. That's how I got started. It's very, very simple, low tech, easy. Eventually I needed something more, so I moved on to Stripe. You can do both if you want. But you need to have a payment gateway. So you might need something like Kajabi or Gumroad, something that allows you to have some type of an order form as well. So what is your conversion plan? There's your plan. Your company plan, your communication plan, content, capture, conversion. If you want to build this as a real business, and most of you that are here hanging out with me, your desire is not to do this as a hobby. If it is, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't need to be as detailed in all this. Like, just start a YouTube channel and share. I mean, there's lots of people who have podcasts and YouTube channels that don't desire to make any money or create any products. That's okay. But if you do, you want to set this up in the right way. All right, last one is we're going to get into this build. Build. What are the two big questions that I need to answer to build this? Like, build the platform, Jonathan. All right, so here it is. We need to know, first of all, let's start with this first one. Where is your home base? You need a home base, right? Even though I'm a fan of starting an organic audience, grassroots audience as a Facebook group, it's never to sustain the business on a Facebook group. It is, what we'll talk about in a second, a social embassy. But I need home base. Again, just like an email list is traffic I can control, home base is my little slice of virtual real estate that I own. It's my domain name, and it's where my website is. So where's your home base? Now, there's lots of choices here. Many of our insiders, let me just tell you some of our insiders that are in our insider program, they come to us, and some are on Kajabi. One that's picking up steam right now is System with an E.io. It is a cheaper alternative to Kajabi, and I'll talk about these two in a second. When I first started, I started on WordPress. Still have one of my blogs that are still on WordPress, actually. Others tend to be, the drag and drop builders like Wix or Squarespace. So you have these options, right? Now, what makes these two up here stand out is that they are all in one. Meaning WordPress or Wix or Squarespace can't do it all for you as a coach, as a speaker, as somebody who wants to create digital products, right? So Kajabi also has landing pages. Kajabi also has payment processors. They have Stripe and PayPal integrated. Kajabi also has digital courses. You can sell coaching with Kajabi. It's your email list, your email marketing, all of it's in one thing. System.io, same thing. So you need to decide where's home base for you. And we need to set up your official business having a home base. Okay. And then the last question is, where is your social embassy? Now, I am a fan of utilizing social media because they allow us as content creators to carve out some of their traffic, and we can, for the most part, we can do what we want to a degree. We can create a Facebook group. We can run a challenge. We can even allow to offer people on the platform to buy something from us, right? So where's your social embassy? Now there's a lot of choices and options here, right? Facebook. It could be Instagram. It could be LinkedIn. It could be Twitter. It could be Pinterest. right? Where is your audience hanging out? And if you don't know, you need to figure out how to find that out. Like wherever they're hanging out the most is where you need to be. You don't need to be everywhere. Okay. Being everywhere is very difficult. It's not sustainable. What you need to do is like focus in and say, you know what? I really think my audience is Facebook. Then that is your social embassy. Focus there at least for 90 days. Just understand how to make that work for you. So that's your social embassy. All right. So if you got some questions, put in the letter Q and your question. If you want to go ahead and tell me a takeaway so far, and I've got a few other things to let you know about here in a second. This is the Messenger launch plan. It really comes down to these 5. Are you clear on your audience? Or do you need help really making sure that you've got the right audience? Do you have a profitable audience, an audience that is willing to spend money to solve their problems? Do you have your message defined? Do you know what your core offers are? Have you thought through the different parts and pieces of your plan, your business plan, your communication plan, those pieces? And then not only where you're going to build, but do you know how to build it? Do you know how to build it and set it up to get it going? So those are the questions. That is where people are that are trying to figure this out. So here's something tonight that I'm really excited to introduce to you guys. This is brand new. I'm really excited about this. And I have been so excited. My team and I have been so excited about this. And you guys are the first to know for hanging out here. And you might be saying, Jonathan, this is a lot of what I need to figure out. The audience, the offer, the message, the plan, the build. Well, let me show you this. This is something we have been working on for a while. Let me go over here and go ahead and put in your questions because I'll come back around to those. And let me go over here. And here is what you guys get to know about first. We have done a brand new rebrand of our lab, and we're calling it Messenger Launch Lab. And this is our 3.0 version. Now, Lab has been around for a couple years, but it's retooling, rebranding, refocusing on those 5 stages. And in a second, so hold on, I'm actually going to give you a link that you can go visit that is a quick assessment that'll help you know which stage you're at. So stick with me because you don't even need an email address. You answered the 6 questions and it's going to tell you you're at stage 3, you're at stage 2, you're at stage 4. That's coming. Okay. Cool little quiz. It scores it for you to help you know, because you might be wondering, Jonathan, I don't know like where I am. Am I at the audience stage? Am I at the offer stage? Like which one do I need to work on? This platform assessment quiz that I'm going to give you access to tonight for free will tell you that, and you don't even need to put an email address in, okay? So the new Lab 3.0, the Messenger Launch Lab, is going to have monthly themes and action guides. We'll have a theme every single month that the whole community works on the same thing. We've got on-demand classes in the vault, and you're going to get instant feedback in our community. And let me see if I can just make this a little bit bigger. I'll give you guys a sneak peek in a second, but check this out. We're really excited about this. So October, which is right around the corner, we're calling October Business Clarity Month. And you're going to get access to our Business Clarity Launch Kit. In the Business Clarity Launch Kit, there is a Business Clarity Journal that you'll get access to. And let me see if I can actually show you this, because I think this is just so cool. Here it is right here. Just found it. I believe this is the latest version. Check this out. So let's go right here. So this is the Business Clarity Journal. And inside this journal, this is going to help you with those, the audience and really the message piece, because look at this, we got this broken down. Let me just scroll through here. So purpose, we're going to give you 10 journal prompts for 10 straight days. And you come in here and day one, here's your journal prompt. You journal about it. And so this gives you an opportunity. This is just one piece of like a kit you're going to get access to. What do you ultimately want from all your hard work? What are your top 5 values? How can you make sure you bring each into your dream business? Think back in time when you felt completely fulfilled. What were you doing? Who were you with? And there's just a bunch of questions. And then there's questions on kind of the next part of this is people. Who do you feel called to serve? And you can journal for an entire 10 days on thinking through their goals, their passions, their struggles, right? And then on it goes. I won't show you through all of these, but this is just one piece of what you're going to get. We've got other videos, training. It's going to be Business Clarity Month, really getting clear on your business idea, your message, and your audience. November is going to be the Social Media Engagement Launch Kit. Now, in that one, we actually have a very cool, and I'll show this to you as well. Let's see. Wasn't planning on showing these, but I want to show these to you guys. If you're good with that. All right, here it is. Now this one's really cool. And this is a social media planner. And this is designed to help you, choose that social embassy. And then we'll give you tools here for statistics, doing an audit, reviewing how things are going. I know I'm scrolling through this fast. There's a whole section on planning out your content pillars. We'll teach you kind of the concept that I like to use, giving you post ideas. Lots of different ideas here. And then if I keep scrolling down, you'll see posting schedule, helping you figure out when to post. Just a lot in here, and that's going to be for the month of November. The social engagement launch kit, along with some Canva templates for your social media as well. December, this is a real popular thing years ago, and we're making it way better. We're going to do the online course in a weekend launch kit. So how do you create an online course and get it up for sale over a weekend? I keep it simple, superhero, right? And we're going to be working as a community to create a course. So if you're like, I've been wanting an online course, then this workbook, the kit, the instructional videos is all about helping you launch a very, very simple course. Not a big complex one, but a simple one. All right. Plus, if you join Lab, and by the way, you guys are the first to hear about it. So it's actually officially open right now, and it's going to be open only until Thursday. You'll also get access to some of these other bonuses. I won't read all of them, but here's the cool one. That social media planner I just shared with you, you can actually get access to it right now if you join Lab. If you're already a Lab member, it's already in the members area. It's 38-page social media planner. You can get access to it right now until Monday night. So it's kind of a fast action bonus for joining us. So there's 3 options that you have to join, and I'm going to take whatever questions you have. The most affordable one is the monthly one at $45 a month, and you can cancel at any time, just 2 clicks of your mouse, so there's no commitment. So if you're like, I think this might be helpful for me, come join us. It's low commitment to get in there and be a part of our themes and our launch kits. You got the other option. Some people have requested the annual from us. It does give you 2 months for free. So there you go, if you want to just save some money. And then we do have a lifetime option. So if you're like, Jonathan, I'm all in on your teaching. I just want to get access to everything. I want lifetime access to all of it, and plus some other good bonuses. It's $14.50 to get the lifetime access to lab. So there's some testimonials here that you can welcome to read how other people have gotten benefit from lab as well. So I'm going to take your questions, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek because you might want to know, what does it look like? Well, inside here, we're constantly helping, we're coaching. I'm in there. Some of my coaches are in there, and we are constantly giving feedback and advice. So this news feed here is our private little community. We can even do instant messaging. We can chat, instant message one another. I've had a lot of lab members reach out to me asking me for different advice or feedback on things. So it's an easy way to get a hold of me. You can also, if we come over here, the heart of this is under the courses section. We're going to be launching a brand new membership in November, but lab members are going to get free access to this mystery. I'm calling it a mystery club membership for right now, but you will get access to that for free if you join us during this enrollment. The Messenger Launch Lab is right here, but I want to show you some of these bonuses. So here's the Growth Vault, and the Growth Vault is like Netflix for us writers, speakers, and coaches. So it's got traffic. If you say, Jonathan, I have a blog, I have all this, I just need traffic, I have a website, look at all these traffic classes in here that you can binge watch. You say, Jonathan, I want to know more about how to build that email list. I like that concept of traffic you can control. Then boom, there's all the different classes on building an email list. Say, Jonathan, how do I make money with my message? Look at all these classes on different ways that you can earn money with your message. That's all in the Growth Vault. Then there's the Answers Vault. I'm not going to take time to go into that. That one is a bunch of office hours that I've done answering tons of Q&A from our students. And then there's the 90-day Power System Bootcamp. This is actually really good to help you with goals. If you need structure or time management as a creative, definitely watch this. It's about 4 hours, 4 different sessions bootcamp. Then we got some other extra bonuses there as well. So in the Messenger Launch Lab, you come in here and there is a quick start course for you. So come in here, you've got videos, you have, here's our Messenger Launch plan that we help you with, and you just roll through these, and I'm going to teach you all the different parts. And then let me close out and show this to you. And then down here, depending on what stage you're in, we're constantly adding content to the stages. So we have classes, we have quizzes, we have worksheets, planners for whatever level you are at. So there you go. All right. So let me come back here. So you might be saying, okay, John, I'm in. I want to be a part of Lab, but where do I go? Where's the link? Well, here's the link right here. Go to joinlabnow.com. You click on that, go to joinlabnow.com, and you will be able to get the Fast Action Bonus, which is the 38-page social media planner for joining between now and Monday. Monday, we're officially publicly opening it to our community, and we're going to close it down on Thursday. That way we can focus on the monthly themes and working with our community, all working on the same thing. So again, October is all about business clarity. All the conversations, the worksheets, the journals is about helping you get really clear on your audience and your message. That can be helpful for all of us, regardless of what stage. And then in November, we're all going to be working on our social media engagement. How do we get better at attracting more followers on social media? And then December, we're going to, as a community, we're going to create an online course, a mini online course together. And so I would love for you to be a part of that, and we would love to have you in there. I see questions coming in. If I'm already in Lab, we will have access to all these things. Yes. So if you're a current Lab member, you got all access to all this stuff right now. So go log into Lab. It's now available to you, and we're adding more stuff in all the time. Does that mean if I do not sign up by Thursday, I'm locked out forever? That came from Nick. No, absolutely not. But we enroll kind of in seasons, semesters, and we do that so that we don't have to focus so much on marketing, more on our community. So as soon as we close the doors for our fall enrollment, we are going to shift our focus to creating the planners and the content and serving that community. It's much easier. I've done a membership site for 8 years. I've done it where it's always open, and then I've done it where it opens and closes. It's so much better when it opens and closes because we as a team are able to focus in on helping our community members. It creates an excitement when a new group of students come in. It re-energizes people who are already in there to have that rhythm. And so that's why we do that. So so you can join up until Thursday, and then probably won't open it back up again, like a public launch, until 2023, sometime in the spring. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Phil says the 90-day session alone is powerful. Yeah. And I know, Tom, you really got something out of that. I know Tom's here. The 90-day boot camp will help you. If you struggle with focus, if you feel like as a creative, either a writer, coach, or speaker, like most of the detailed time management stuff doesn't work for me. This 90-day power system is about choosing your 3 goals, breaking it down into sprint projects, and actually getting stuff done. And that is a whole boot camp that's inside a lab as a bonus that you can go watch. Okay, I see a few questions about lifetime access. So what that means is you basically are going to be members for as long as we're doing this program, which I've already been doing it for 7 years. And we've not really offered this that much, but when we have in the past, people jumped on it because, we've had people that have been members inside a lab for 8 years, ever since I started it. And so for them, it's the equivalent of less than 3 years of paying monthly, that you're like, hey, I want to get access to all of it plus some of the extra bonuses. So if that helps. I know I saw a couple. I'm trying to answer some of the common questions. Crystal says, this looks great. Awesome. Phil says the community itself is also amazing. Thanks, Phil. Tom says, I've been using the 90-day stuff now each week and daily. It's so good. Phil says, I've been reading the JLD book. That's John Lee Dumas, that we got at the live event a couple years ago. And I'm looking at the idea of being in the top 25% of 3 niches, and combined, you will likely be in the top 1%. How do you know if you've niched down too far? Here's the thing, Phil. Most people miss it the other way. So I gave the example, and actually I have the, let's see if I didn't mess this up already. I gave this example, and I still have it up. This is a classic example. I would think most people would think that this is Linda, who we said that she used our material and our training in lab to start an online course, and today she's doing this full time, and her husband came to work for their business. Her niche is not just teachers, but it's just Christian school teachers. Now that's really niching down, right? Because here's what a lot of people would say: oh, well, Christian school teachers don't get paid as much, and there's not as many Christian schools as there is public schools out there. Like, can you really just build a business for elementary Christian school teachers? It seems too niche down. She is crushing it. And what we forget is even when we niche down, it still can be millions of people, right? So even in my CPA career coach niche, I could have done only CPAs. Now I didn't, but if I did only CPAs, that got even more specific, right? Like I don't deal with internal audit, or I don't deal with financial analyst, or I don't, just CPAs. There's still millions of CPAs. So my quick take on that, Phil, is that most people never err the other way. So that's what I would say. Let's see what else. Looks like Kevin. Appreciate that. Kevin said, pull this on the screen over on Zoom. Said, trust me, you're in good hands. Jonathan knows what it takes to be successful, create income online. He also generously shares what he knows. Get in and get going. Appreciate that, Kevin. Let's see here. Trying to make sure I'm not missing any questions. All right, I think I've addressed most of them. Oh man, will you show your camera and computer setup? Or did I miss that? I did it again. I forgot. Here's what I will do. I got to do this in a way that I can remember. I will do this in our Facebook group community. In fact, Charity, if you're here and you can put a link in Zoom to our Facebook group, I will actually do a separate video. That way I can show you a little bit more of the setup. So I apologize. I completely forgot. I did it again. I messed up. That's why I have a virtual assistant, and that's why I have a team, because I don't remember stuff very well. But come join our Facebook group. It's free. Just think the links on the Zoom is in Zoom right now. And I'll do a whole video and show you kind of how this whole setup went for this workshop. All right. So again, just kind of wrapping things up here. Lab is officially open. It's kind of quietly open because you guys are here hanging out. And you can have access to the planners, the workbooks, all the stuff right now, just joining Lab. Again, there's 3 options: $45 a month to get you in, cancel anytime, there's no commitment. $450 for the year, we'll give you 2 months for free for joining annual. And then there's $1450 for lifetime access to Lab with some other extra goodie bonuses as well. All right. Jess says it's a fun group. If you aren't in yet, guys, join us. Crystal said, love this, love Lab. Thank you, Crystal. Guys, that's it. So whether you decide to join, if you decide to join Lab, awesome. Welcome in. There's a whole checklist for you to get started. Make sure you watch the quick start videos. Oh, I was going to share the assessment. So let me do that real quick here. So give me 1 second. I have put together this assessment. I just want to make sure the link is going to work here. And let's see here. 1 second, everybody. Don't go anywhere, because what this will be, this is, again, you don't need an email address. You go through the 6 questions. I think there's 6 or 7 questions, and it has a scoring system that'll help you find out if you're at stage 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in that audience offer message and which one you should work on. So let me, if you'll bear with me, I should have known I was probably going to end up sharing this. So let me just put this out there for you, and I will share it with people on social media as well. Give me 1 second. Just want to make sure that I give you the correct link. It's coming, almost there. Okay. Trying to make it a little simpler link because social media, let's see here. I want to make sure you guys don't, it's a really long link, and I'm trying to create a shorter link for you. Let's see if this will work. Okay. So jmill.biz/platform, and I'm putting it in Zoom chat for all of you hanging out on Zoom. And then let's see if I can do this on the fly here. So I can't put it on all the different social media, but it's jmill.biz/platform. jmill.biz/platform. I can put it on YouTube if you're hanging out on YouTube. So I'll put it there. It's just jmill.biz/platform. And let's go here again. And yeah, so go there, take the 6-question assessment. It'll tell you which stage you're at, which stage you need to work on. And then come join us in lab and you'll know what stage you need to be working on. jmill.biz/platform for that assessment. All right, guys, that is all that I have for you. Thank you for being a part of this. If you've joined Lab or you're a current Lab member, welcome in to this new 3.0 version. Really excited about the first launch kit for the Business Clarity Month in October is going to be releasing the 7th. So we've got a few more things that we're putting together for that for you guys. So welcome in. If not, and you choose not to join us, that's okay too. I hope this 3-night workshop has been a help to you and it's helped you think through the different parts, right? Again, session 1 was helping you understand the opportunity. Session 2 was really about understanding the product grid and the profit grid, how you can earn money with this. And then tonight was kind of putting together our 5-stage plan. Hope that was helpful to you. And that's all we got. So have a wonderful Saturday evening wherever you're at. Again, welcome to those that are in lab. We'll be talking with you really soon. And we may do a Zoom call. I was thinking about this, Charity. My wife's here somewhere. She's on Zoom somewhere. Thinking about doing a hangout call for lab members. I think it'd be fun, especially with some of the new members, getting to know some of our current members. So joinlabnow.com. We'll see you on the inside. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.